My entire family showed up to my bankruptcy hearing to watch me fail. 15 years later I showed up to theirs as the creditor they owed $2 million to. Take a quick pause, hit subscribe and tell me where you're watching this from. It's amazing seeing this community grow across the world. The bankruptcy courtrooms smelled like stale coffee and broken dreams. I sat at that cold metal table 23 years old, hands trembling as I signed away everything I'd built. My attorney, Mr. Hunt, squeezed my shoulder gently. That's when I heard it, laughter. Not just any laughter. Her laughter. I turned around and my blood turned to ice. The entire gallery was filled with them. Mama sat front row center, wearing that burgundy church hat she saved for special occasions. My older sister Evelyn sat beside her, phone out, recording. Uncle Samuel, Aunt Diane, my cousins Trey and Jasmine, 15 family members total, packed in like this was Sunday service. Look at Miss Entrepreneur now, Evelyn said loud enough for everyone to hear. Mama didn't shush her. Instead she smiled, that same smile she'd given me when I told her I was starting my own business 3 years ago. You always thought you were better than us, Simone, she'd said then. Let's see how far that pride gets you. Now, watching me lose everything at 23, she'd gotten her answer. The judge cleared his throat, clearly uncomfortable. Mr. Hunt whispered, "We can request they leave." I shook my head. Let them watch. Let them see what their neglect, their sabotage, their poison had done. Because sitting in that chair, signing those papers, something inside me crystallized into diamond-hard determination. They came to watch me break. Instead, they were witnessing my rebirth. I looked each one of them dead in the eye and smiled back. Rewind to 3 years earlier. I was 20, working 2 jobs, saving every penny. Daddy died when I was 16, leaving me a $50,000 life insurance policy. Money Mama tried to convince me to share with the family. I refused. That money was mine, my escape route, my future. I'd watched Mama blow through Daddy's pension on Evelyn's failed salon, Uncle Samuel's investment opportunities, and Trey's legal fees after his 3rd DUI. I wasn't about to repeat history. So I opened Lux Beauty Supply Indicator, focusing on natural hair care products. Business was good, incredible actually. Within 18 months I had 3 employees and was planning a second location. That's when Evelyn approached me at Sunday dinner. "Simone, I need you to co-sign a loan. Just $30,000. My salon needs renovating." I'd learned my lesson watching Mama. "I can't do that, Evelyn. But I can help you create a business plan." She cut me off. "You know what? You're selfish. Just like Daddy said you'd be." Mama nodded. "Your sister needs help and you're sitting on all that money from the store." Aunt Diane chimed in from across the table. "Family helps family, Simone. Or did college teach you to forget where you came from?" That dinner ended with me leaving early, labeled the family villain. I didn't know then that refusal would cost me everything. The first incident happened 2 weeks after that dinner. I arrived at my store to find the locks changed. My landlord, Mr. Kemp, stood there looking uncomfortable. "Your mother came by yesterday. Said you were behind on rent, going through mental health issues, and she was taking over the business to protect family assets." My hands went numb. "That's not true. I'm current on rent. I have proof." She had convincing documents, Simone. Legal-looking papers. Said she was your power of attorney because you'd had a breakdown. He handed me an eviction notice. "I can't get involved in family disputes. You've got 72 hours. I called Mama immediately. "Did you go to my landlord? Did you tell him I'm mentally unstable?" Her voice dripped with false concern. "Baby, we're worried about you. You're working yourself to death, pushing family away. We're just trying to help." "Help? You're destroying my business." "Lower your voice. See, this is exactly the kind of behavior that concerns us." Evelyn's voice came through in the background. Is she having another episode? Another episode. They'd crafted a narrative, built a story about my mental instability to explain away my success and justify their interference. I spent $8,000 in legal fees fighting that eviction. Money I needed for inventory. The judge sided with me, but the damage was done. Word spread through our community that I was troubled, that my family was concerned. Customers started questioning my stability. Within a month, my business credit cards were maxed out, cards I'd never used. Someone had gotten my information and made purchases totaling $47,000. The fraud investigation revealed the shipping address, Aunt Diane's house. When confronted, she claimed Evelyn had asked her to help Simone by ordering inventory. She said you'd authorized it but were too busy to handle shipping. I was just being helpful. The police report went nowhere. Family disputes rarely do. Then my supplier started calling. Someone had contacted them claiming to be me, canceling orders, demanding refunds to different accounts. My seamstress, Mrs. Mosley, pulled me aside at church. Baby, your cousin Trey came by my shop. Said you'd sent him to collect the custom bonnets I'd made for your inventory. 40 dozen bonnets, $6,000 worth. He had a note with your signature. My signature. Forged. I filed a police report. Trey claimed it was a misunderstanding, that I'd texted him to pick them up. He showed the police texts from my number. Except I'd lost my phone 2 weeks earlier at a family gathering. Uncle Samuel had helped me look for it. Everything clicked into place. They weren't just sabotaging me. They'd planned this, coordinated it. Each incident designed to drain my resources while maintaining plausible deniability. Family misunderstandings, they called it. I called it warfare. The bankruptcy wasn't my choice. It was inevitable after 6 months of systematic destruction. My credit destroyed, inventory stolen, reputation shattered, legal fees mounting. I had $3,000 left from Daddy's insurance money and a business drowning in fraudulent debt. Mr. Hunt laid it out plainly. Simone, you can keep fighting, spend another year and $50,000 in legal fees trying to prove family fraud, or you can file Chapter 7, walk away clean and rebuild. I was 23 years old, choosing between my pride and my future. I chose survival. The hearing was scheduled for April 15, 2010. I told no one, not after everything they'd done. But somehow they knew. Mama called the night before. I heard about your hearing tomorrow, baby. We'll be there to support you. Support. The word tasted like poison. Please don't come, Mama. I need to do this alone. Family supports family, Simone. We'll be there. They weren't coming to support me. They were coming to witness my humiliation, to prove their point. That I'd always needed them, that my independence was foolish pride, that leaving the family safety net had been my downfall. What they didn't know, what none of them knew, was that sitting in my apartment that night, surrounded by bankruptcy documents, I made myself 3 promises. First, I would rebuild. Second, I would never forget. Third, they would pay for every single thing they'd done. After the bankruptcy, I disappeared. Changed my number, moved to Atlanta's Old Fourth Ward. A neighborhood gentrifying fast but still affordable. I worked 3 jobs. Morning shift at Starbucks, afternoons doing hair in my apartment, nights doing bookkeeping remotely for small businesses. 18-hour days, 7 days a week. No social life, no distractions. Mama found me 6 months later, showed up at my apartment. You changed your number? Your own mother. I stood in the doorway, didn't invite her in. What do you want? I want my daughter back. Evelyn's salon failed, by the way. She could use your help. No. The word felt powerful. Cleansing. Baby, you're being bitter. We're family. Whatever happened. I laughed hollow. You all systematically destroyed my business. Stole from me. Ruined my credit. And you want what? Forgiveness. She adjusted her purse, her face hardening. You always were dramatic. Nobody destroyed anything. You failed because you weren't ready and you're too proud to admit it. I closed the door in her face. That conversation confirmed everything. They felt no remorse, no accountability. In their minds, they'd done nothing wrong. I was the problem, ungrateful, selfish, prideful. That day I stopped hoping for apology or recognition. I refocused entirely on my 3 promises. By 2011 I'd saved $40,000. I'd also been studying, learning everything about business law, debt collection, real estate investing. Knowledge was currency and I was getting rich. I enrolled at Georgia State studying finance and business law. Paid cash for classes, worked around my schedule. My professors noticed my intensity. I wasn't there for grades. I was there for weapons. Professor Michaels, a bankruptcy attorney by trade, taught me the truth about debt. It's transferable, purchasable, collectible. Distressed debt, he called it during office hours, can be bought for pennies on the dollar. When businesses fail, their debts get packaged and sold to collection agencies. It's a whole industry. What about personal debt? I asked. From bankruptcies? He looked at me curiously. Same principle. After bankruptcy discharge, creditors often sell the debt for 5 to 10% of face value to recoup something. Why do you ask? Just curious. But I wasn't curious. I was plotting. I spent nights researching debt purchasing, collection agencies, legal frameworks. I learned about judgment renewals, lien placements, asset discovery. Most importantly, I learned about patience. Revenge served cold isn't just satisfying, it's legal. By 2013, I'd graduated summa cum laude, landed a position at Mercer Capital Management analyzing distressed assets. My boss, Jonathan Reeves, a brilliant black entrepreneur who'd built his empire from nothing, became my mentor. You've got something special, Simone, he said during my review. You see patterns others miss. Why distressed debt, though? Most young analysts find it depressing. I smiled. I find it full of opportunity. He didn't know how personal that opportunity was. By 2016, I'd become Mercer Capital's top analyst. I'd also started my own side business, Green Asset Recovery LLC, purchasing small debt portfolios, legally collecting, building capital. Jonathan encouraged it. Entrepreneurship is in your blood. Just don't compete with us. Never, I promised. I specialized in family business debt, salons, small retail service companies. The kind of businesses that failed when owners overextended, mismanaged, or fell victim to their own hubris. I was professional, legal, ethical. I followed every rule, documented everything. Because I knew eventually if I waited long enough, if I stayed ready, the universe would provide. Then in March 2018, my assistant Rashida buzzed my office. Simone, there's a debt portfolio from a failed salon indicator. The name's flagged for you, Evelyn Guerra, my sister. 8 years after destroying my business, her salon had finally collapsed. I pulled up the details. $127,000 in debt to suppliers, landlords, contractors. The debt had been sold to a collection agency for $12,000. They were now selling it for $15,000. I called Jonathan. I want to buy this portfolio personally. It's connected to my past. He knew my story. I'd shared pieces during late-night strategy sessions. Are you sure? Family debt gets messy. I've been sure about this for 8 years. I wrote the check that afternoon. Evelyn's debt was mine. Just the beginning. Owning Evelyn's debt was satisfying, but I didn't act immediately. I waited, watched, gathered information. Through public records, I discovered Uncle Samuel had a failing car dealership. Aunt Diane's catering business was drowning. Trey had defaulted on 3 business loans. They'd all followed the same pattern: overextend, mismanage, blame others, fail. Meanwhile, I expanded green asset recovery. By 2020, I managed a $12 million portfolio. Then COVID hit. Businesses collapsed everywhere, including theirs. Uncle Samuel's dealership went under in August 2020. Debt, $340,000. Available for $28,000. I bought it. Aunt Diane's catering company failed in December 2020. Debt, $89,000. Available for $7,000. I bought it. Trey's consulting business, really just a front for collecting money from friends and family, imploded in March 2021. Debt, $156,000. Available for $12,000. I bought it. By spring 2021, I owned nearly $600,000 in family debt. But I still waited. Because Mama was the architect. She'd orchestrated my destruction, encouraged their actions, and never apologized. She needed to fall too. And in June 2023 she did. The house Daddy bought, the one she'd remortgaged twice to fund everyone else's failures, went into foreclosure. She owed $380,000. The bank was selling the note for $290,000, hoping to recoup something. I'd been building toward this moment for 13 years. I had $4.2 million in assets, multiple LLCs, and one very specific plan. I bought Mama's mortgage. Now I owned everything. I consolidated all their debts, $712,000 from Evelyn, Samuel, Diane, and Trey. Added Mama's $380,000 mortgage. Total, $1,092,000. But debt accrues interest, penalties, legal fees. By the time I filed for consolidated judgment in December 2024, the total was $2,043,000. $2 million. Almost exactly equal to what they cost me in business loss, legal fees, damaged credit, lost opportunities, and 15 years of rebuilding. The court date was set, April 15, 2025. Exactly 15 years after my bankruptcy hearing. I'd requested that date specifically. My attorney, now a senior partner at a major firm, looked at me carefully. Simone, this is legal, but it's devastating. They'll lose everything. Businesses, homes, vehicles, savings. Are you certain? I thought about sitting in that courtroom at 23 watching them laugh. I thought about Mama closing the door in my face when I explained what they'd done. I thought about 15 years of silence, no apologies, no acknowledgement. I'm certain. And I want them all there. Every single one. He nodded. We'll ensure they receive proper notice. They'll have to appear. You're their primary creditor in their bankruptcy proceedings. The irony was perfect. They'd come to watch me fail. Now they'd have no choice but to watch me win. I sent one additional instruction. Make sure there's enough seating in the gallery. I'll be bringing guests. April 15, 2025. I arrived at the courthouse at 8:45 a.m. The same courthouse, probably the same courtroom. I wore a custom navy suit, Tom Ford, $3,400. My hair was laid by the best stylist in Atlanta. My shoes were Louboutin. I looked like success. As I was. My team accompanied me. My attorney Ernest Hunt. Yes, the same Mr. Hunt from 15 years ago, now my friend and counsel. My business partner Jonathan Reeves. Rashida, my director of operations, and 12 employees from Green Asset Recovery. We filled the gallery. When Mama arrived, she froze. She looked older, tired, diminished. Evelyn followed, then Uncle Samuel, Aunt Diane, Trey, Jasmine, and 4 others. They saw me and stopped. Confusion, then recognition, then dawning horror crossed their faces. Simone. Mama's voice cracked. What are you doing here? I smiled, the same smile I'd given her 15 years ago. I'm here to support you, Mama. Family supports family, remember? Evelyn grabbed Mama's arm. What is she talking about? The bailiff called the case. Consolidated bankruptcy hearing. Case number 2025 BK 47293. Debtors Guerra, Samuel, Diane and associated parties. Primary creditor, Green Asset Recovery LLC, represented by Ernest Hunt. I watched their faces as understanding hit. The color drained from Evelyn's cheeks. Uncle Samuel actually stumbled. Mama gripped the table. You, she whispered. You're the creditor? I nodded. Every single dollar. The judge entered. This reckoning had been 15 years in the making. The hearing proceeded methodically. Attorney Hunt presented documentation. The debts, the purchases, the accrued interest, the legal right to collection. Each family member's financial destruction laid bare. But I'd added something special. Your Honor, Hunt said, Ms. Green has prepared a statement regarding the origin of these debts. She believes context is relevant to settlement discussions. The judge nodded. I stood. My hands didn't shake this time. 15 years ago I sat where they're sitting. My family sabotaged my business systematically. Identity theft, fraud, forgery, supplier interference. They destroyed everything I'd built, then came to my bankruptcy hearing to mock me. I presented documents, police reports, fraud investigations, testimonies. Everything I'd gathered and preserved. They taught me an important lesson. Family isn't about blood. It's about loyalty, respect, and integrity. They had none. So I spent 15 years rebuilding, learning, and waiting. Not for revenge, for justice. Mama stood up. You're lying. We tried to help you. You were unstable, ungrateful. Mrs. Guerra, sit down, the judge said firmly. He'd read everything. Ms. Green, what are your settlement terms? This was it. My moment. Full repayment. $2,043,000. They can liquidate assets, set up payment plans, or continue accumulating interest at 12% annually. I'm not writing off a penny. Evelyn started crying. Uncle Samuel put his head in his hands. Mama just stared at me, finally seeing me clearly. You did this on purpose, she said. You waited. I learned from the best, I replied. The settlement took 6 weeks to finalize. They liquidated everything. Mama's house sold for $320,000. Uncle Samuel's remaining assets brought $180,000. Aunt Diane surrendered her catering equipment, and Evelyn signed over her salon location rights. Total recovery, $847,000. The remaining $1.2 million was structured into payment plans garnishing wages for the next 20 years. They'd spend the rest of their working lives paying me back. But here's the twist nobody expected, least of all me. On June 1st, I transferred $500,000 to a trust. Called each one of them to my office individually. Started with Mama. This trust contains money for genuine emergencies. Medical bills, housing assistance, education. Managed by an independent trustee. You can't access it directly, but if you need real help, it's available. One condition, family therapy, all of you together for 1 year minimum. Mama cried. Why? After everything, because Daddy would have wanted me to be better than you were to me. This isn't forgiveness. It's closure. You destroyed me out of jealousy and spite. I'm breaking that cycle. Over the following months, something unexpected happened. Therapy revealed Mama's own trauma, her mother's favoritism, her fear of abandonment, her belief that keeping family financially dependent kept them close. It didn't excuse anything, but it explained it. We're not close now. Maybe we'll never be. But at Thanksgiving 2025, Evelyn called. I got a job, Simone. Real job with benefits. I'm paying you back legitimately. I know, I said, checking my records. You're on time. Thank you, she whispered. For the trust. For the chance. I hung up, looked at my empire. 3 businesses, $8 million in assets, a team of 40 employees, and realized something profound. They tried to break me. Instead, they'd forged me into steel. That courtroom 15 years ago? They didn't witness my failure. They witnessed my beginning. And I just witnessed theirs end and their chance to rebuild, on my terms. Sometimes the best revenge isn't destruction. It's becoming so successful that your mercy becomes more powerful than their malice ever was. I learned that the hard way, but I learned it completely.